Boom! And we are live for the first time. Hopefully, no hiccups. What's going on, everybody? It's the Upper Bay Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, all the socials. If you're new here, make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button. If you're not new here, we appreciate you coming back again. What's up, fellas? What's going on?
What's up?
What's up, dude? So tonight, because we got snowed out the last time, we got Mr. Conor Cahill from the Garden State. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm sorry you couldn't join us in the dart fun last time.
I tuned into the show a little bit later in the week, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and yeah, I'm ready to get after it.
Cool.
The snow was very legit, by the way.
It was, in fact, a legit snowstorm. I'm glad that Conor was not driving back in that the next day.
Yeah,
yes.
And if we have somebody that's watching or listening that's not in the immediate area, it was legit. Like, I couldn't get my truck up the road for nearly 2 days. Everything was frozen.
Well, you also don't have four-wheel drive anymore. So.
Well, I do have four-wheel drive. It was frozen.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was frozen. Everything was frozen. No, I've used it since, and it works fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just
good,
it was frozen. So
Frozen
perfect
today.
time. All right.
Yeah, perfect time.
I was like, when you were texting, I was like, just hit it with a hammer. He's like, hit what? If you're joining us on the live stream, which it looks like we have 3 people, so what's up, 3 people?
Yeah, let's go.
What's up, guys?
Throw a comment out there on whatever you're listening to. We should be able to see it here. And if you guys have any questions or comments along the way, throw them out there, and we'll try to answer them as we go. But so let's get this thing rolling. Mason, it is negative 18 out, and you went shed hunting today.
Yeah. Nothing else to do right now, so.
And I don't know if anybody can see it in the live stream, but
Yeah, hold 'em up.
we got a pile here. Well, Mason's got a pile. Looks like 2 real nice ones and 2 small ones.
Yeah, finally popped the cherry on some fresh ones.
Yeah, that's nice.
How many did you end up with?
Just 5.
And how many miles do you have to do?
I didn't track it, but probably 8 or 9. I only did like a half day.
Check.
So, but in the snow,
Yeah.
feels like a lot more.
Were you finding them mostly in beds or on trails?
All beds.
All beds?
Every single one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Just laying there trying to stay warm. And,
Not trying to find food, just laid up.
yeah, I mean, that's about right for this time of year. I mean,
We are live on your Facebook page, Shane.
and we should be also live on the Upper Bay page, too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Check that too.
So, but the picture I saw, so you were with Big Rig, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Rig, because I know he's listening. How many did he find?
Found 4.
All right.
Yeah.
Not bad.
2 sets, so.
Were they
They're,
also in beds?
I don't know. I wasn't with him when he found them, but I'd imagine. All those deer kind of dropped. Like every single shed has blood on it, which is frozen. But we had that weird weather. I think as soon as those deer got up and started to exert some energy, they all just dropped.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to walk my farm next weekend if you guys want to tag along. But I'm not expecting a banger, but maybe we'll pick up a spike or 2.
Hopefully a deadhead.
Yeah, hopefully
Hopefully a
deadhead.
deadhead.
Yeah, so. All right. Well, so are you on nights this week?
Yeah, so I'll be up at 6 a.m. and still up early.
Grinding the same spot, or
walking.
are you going to spread out this week?
No, I got like 15, 20 spots that need hit, so.
That many?
Yeah, a lot of public ground to hit.
Yikes. I saw your dad just throwing that post out there looking for permission pieces.
Trying to find.
Ballsy move, Bobby.
Yeah.
Ballsy move.
It might have worked.
Did it?
One place, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I did actually see somebody comment, and I so badly wanted to comment back, like, no, I'll do it. Just to see what your dad would say.
So I got my first shed hunting experience in with Mason last weekend.
That's right, I forgot.
On Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, but Saturday in particular needs to be addressed because we shed hunted up the road, going out towards the end of the road, out towards the lighthouse, and there's a lot of elevation change in that area. Steep elevation change. How many times do you think we fell?
Quite a few. It was just, you weren't breaking through, it was just all ice.
It was all ice, just straight slipping and sliding up and down hills. I mean, if we would have been wearing chest mount GoPros, we probably would have had some viral content, honestly. It was It was well, you can't cheat the mountain. You can't cheat the mountain, Pilgrim. We'll leave it at that. Pilgrim. But yeah, shed hunting is it's a hell of a thing, man. It's a hell of a thing. It's not easy, and especially when there's snow. Like every single step, especially Sunday, because we were crashing through. Yeah. Every single step we were making Sunday, you're crashing through 8 inches of snow, lifting your boot back out. Like it's for real.
It's worse when you're not finding any.
Yeah, it's definitely worse when you're not finding any. So. We found none. So.
Well, I just want to say, I'll let you go ahead. You go ahead.
Just say, and it's a lot worse when there's boot prints. Which 2 of the spots I went to today, every single bedding area had boot prints. So
I just want to throw out there, you're a savage because I saw one of your snaps. Were you walking in your cowboy boots?
Yeah, these.
I told him.
It's a crazy move. That is a crazy move.
Why? They're comfortable.
They're heavy.
They're warm. They're light.
Okay. Yeah, you're walking through 10 inches of snow, homie.
They come up to like here.
Would not have been my go-to choice.
Hey, you got to go with what you got, dude.
That's fair.
True.
You know,
Big Rig was walking in Hey Dudes the last 2 days, just sinking.
In the snow?
That's wild.
Went through it.
Wild.
We walked across the creek. I made it across. He busted through. Boots filled immediately.
When we walked a one spot 2 years ago with him, he was like, there was a creek, and he's like, we got to get across the creek. I'm looking for a tree or something laying across the creek. He's like, he just goes, and he's like knee deep, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going, and I just, both of us just full boots of water.
Well, he isn't walking like long days, so if he gets wet, he only has like a half hour left.
That's fair.
A little different. It sucks if you're walking all day and get the socks wet off the jump.
Right.
All right. Well, we got like 4 or 5 people watching. We appreciate it.
Mine says 10. We got 10.
Oh.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Nice.
We'll get more after it's over.
Yeah.
But all right, if we ain't got anything to add into the hunting shed conversation, let's.
You got nothing, Mace? Come on, you got something.
Got to keep stuff under wraps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, at least let's just end it on this. One tactic.
Yeah.
One tactic for shed hunting right now with the snow.
If there's any standing crop, that's the way to go. The little bit that I found was hammered, but all doe sign. But if you have standing crop, like, you're gonna have a lot of sheds, I think, because there were deer that were getting up in the storm, can't get through the ice to get to corn that's on the ground. So like standing corn, standing beans are dried out are money.
Are they hitting the dried out beans?
Yeah hard.
Yeah, I imagine they're getting whatever they can get at this point.
Dude, it was crazy last week. I sent you guys the snap on that one creek side. They had one little section of the creek side opened up, and they were just savaging the roots. Just everything that they could possibly get their mouths on, they were chewing on.
Once they find it, man, they'll do whatever to open it up. I mean, my dad feeds deer at his house, and he's got about 20 back there every night, and they have his whole yard is completely turned over to basically just grass because they're just getting all the corn he puts out for them in the yard. So
they'll work for them.
They will work. They will work. Except for at my farm, they don't just seem to do anything there. So
maybe we'll go in there and clean up. Maybe
we'll talk. But all right, let's end it on that. Let's get into the bass fishing because I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a long-winded conversation about this.
We might.
So just to start it off, for most of our listeners are probably not going to know you specifically.
Yeah, sure.
But let's start with like your early childhood, early adulthood. Because Rich was
first. You got to read off some of that stat line now.
Okay.
We got to.
You're right. We got to let him. We did talk about this, and I completely blew over that.
Let him fucking know who's
so
sitting here.
I was sent a hell of a rap sheet here about Conor, and I'll read just a little summary.
Yeah. Get a little bit in there.
Do you want me to read the whole, like, the summary, or you just want me to go over the tournaments?
However you want to roll it.
All right. So we'll go through the summary. This is going to sound scripted because it technically is, but dedicated tournament bass angler with competitive experience across local, regional, and national levels, skilled in strategy-driven fishing, pattern development, adapting techniques across diverse fisheries, and advanced electronics, combining preparation with angler intuition to read conditions and perform at a high level. That just sounds like a professional fisherman to me. I'm not gonna lie. Because if somebody had wrote something on there about me, it would have said he's got one rod, a handful of crankbaits and some flipping baits, and catches 3 12-inchers all summer. So
Pretty professional.
yeah. So it's no big deal. But so so this is just a summary over the last 3 years. So you have 10 first place finishes in total, and you have 5 of those first place finishes out here on the flats, which is very impressive. And they're all in big trails too. Susquehanna Flats Trail, Chester County, the Ike Foundation Pro-Am, which is a hell of a tournament to win.
Oh, that was a special one for sure.
Yeah. And you have many second place finishes. You have Team of the Year on the, is it Thayers? Is that how you say that?
Thayers, yeah, that was a cool one. Yeah.
Thayers Marine. You have Team of the Year in 23 on the flats, on the Susquehanna Flats Trail. Many, like I said, many second place finishes in the Legends. New Jersey Bass Nation, you have a couple first place wins.
Yeah.
Second place win on the Delaware River, which is a hard ass river to fish.
That's a fun place to fish. It's in the backyard. You got to be good.
That's fair. That's fair. So, for anybody listening, this dude knows how to fucking fish. There is no way around that. And I mean, this is one of the most impressive rap sheets I've looked at. Not that I've looked at many, but from somebody that's not a legit professional like these guys, I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I mean, I don't know if you... I don't really know if I want to say it live, but you've won. You've got a ton of money in winnings just in the last 2 years between MLF and BFL, which is awesome. So we're going to get into all that. So that's just a little background, but Rich told me leading up to this that you weren't a kid that played sports growing up. I mean, maybe you did play some, but you were mostly just fishing. So I really wanted to get into that. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is let's just dive deep. Let's talk about where the passion for fishing came from. Some of your early on mentors, and then when did you really want to start tournament fishing?
Yeah, so sounds good.
Let's go with the passion first. So how did you even get into fishing?
Sure. Believe it or not, I used to go fishing with my mom all the time. I grew up in Medford Lakes, so I don't know if anybody knows about that, but it's a 2 square mile town with 23 lakes in there. So plenty of fishing. Lots of good fishing, private, so obviously lots of bites, a lot of fun. So I grew up actually going fishing with my mom, just sunny fishing, bread and all that. And I remember in particular the one day, I was I think 5 or 6, maybe even a little younger. I was reeling in a sunny, and a bass ate the sunny, and I was able to land the bass. And it was like a 22.5-inch bass, 5-6 pound class fish.
Yeah.
And I just remember that day, I was like, I want to chase those. I want to go after those fish. And so that kind of fueled the fire for me. Started going with my mom, and then Medford Lakes, there's a lot of canoeing. We can't use motors or anything like that. So I grew up fishing in a canoe, paddling everywhere I had to go, and really not having any sonar or anything like that, and just spending a lot of time on the water. My dad would drop me off at the lake on the way to work, and he would come back and pick me up when he was done work. So I'd be out there all day in the summer, spend a lot of time. It was always been my passion.
How old were you when the Sunny incident happened?
I want to say I was 6, but I think I was a little bit younger. I think I was 5 or 6.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
So I have a 4-year-old, and we have a pond at my in-laws' place, and he's been fishing there, and I see how hype he gets just off of some of the small 12-inch bass that we're catching there. I couldn't imagine catching one that size at 6 years old, dude.
It was incredible.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
And I think it has a lot to say too about how your dad dropped you off and you would just fish all day. I feel like when you hear the stories of some of these guys, these professional guys, it's the same thing.
Sure, yeah.
You're just in it all the time, and just builds that fire for it, man.
Definitely.
So, how does how does that lead into tournament fishing? And by that I mean, like, did anybody mentor you, between age 6 to age whichever, and we can talk about when you started tournament fishing, but I want to know, like, in between that, was there somebody that kind of guided you?
Absolutely.
Were you just like figuring out how to fish different baits as you went by yourself? Was somebody teaching you, so on and so forth?
Yeah, so when I went to high school, shout out to our buddy Rob.
Rob. Jacksonville, Florida.
He lived in the town over Medford, and we lived in Medford Lakes. So I actually met him on the bus. Got to talk with him, and he did tournaments. So I was always looking for, I never got into the tournament thing, but I loved to fish. So he kind of got me into the tournament scene, the junior, bass tournaments and stuff like that. I think we were 15, 16. So I started fishing a lot with him. He had a real bass boat at the time, so I kind of got a little taste of, the competition side to it. And I have to give him a lot of credit, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have gotten started that early. So I started fishing a lot with him, team tournaments. And then eventually I bought my own boat, fished out of a John boat for... must have been 8 years before I got a big boat. You have something to say?
I got something to say, but keep going.
Okay, so spent a lot of time trolling motor only lake, South Jersey, and then I actually joined Top Rod, I think when I was 16, and there I met Mike Centaur. I know a lot of people have heard of him, but he took me under his wing, and I have to credit him for a lot of the way I fish, my style, how I approach things, because he really showed me so much. I actually went down here to the bay for the first time with him. It was actually his first time going to the bay. And he brought me. I was 16 years old, and I think we went to the Elk River, but we absolutely crushed them. It was insane. I guess back in the day, the Elk River was really good. This is probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
Used to be a lot more grass in the Elk than there is
that's
now.
From what I remember, there was a lot of grass. I actually remember this one instance where he actually, we were flipping docks. He got a bite, set the hook. He got stuck, and we pulled up the snag, and it was a crab trap with a bass inside the crab trap.
Wow.
So the jig had gone into the crab trap, got the bite, set the hook, hooked the fish, and he couldn't get it up.
Crazy.
But it was pretty wild. But,
yeah, that's insane.
But yeah, I fished with Mike for years, and I have to credit him for a lot of my success. Because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd be where I am right now.
Yeah.
What did you learn early on from spending time fishing behind Mike? Because you were you weren't his co for Top Rod, right? You were in a different division.
No, yeah.
You were on the same boat with them a lot.
Sure.
Specifically early on, what were some of like those big moments that were, or some impactful things that you took away from fishing with him?
And just before you go, I want to say another thing on top of that is Mike is a hell of a mentor to have. And for anybody listening to this that doesn't know the flats or the upper bay at all, bass fishing wise, like, for a long time that was the guy, and still is. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
I mean, in particular, well, for one thing, he didn't leave me many fish behind him. But, it was a lot of observing, just the way he approached things. He had a bunch of rods out in the deck, but how effective he was at, like, he was just a really good caster. He would break everything down really well, and he you fished with him before. He talks out loud a lot.
Yes.
He doesn't really like keep anything inside. He kind of just says what he's thinking, and you take that and you kind of like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, he would suggest something, and then I would do it and catch fish. It was like, wow, like, how did you know that?
So specifically, like, let's say you rolled up to like a laydown or something, like he's like, just talking to himself, or maybe talking to you, like, this is the laydown, we're going to position this way, we're going to flip to this part of it because of this. type thing, or
yeah, it's not kind of like that, but almost like, there should be a fish there. Like it's on, this is the way they've been biting. It's been on like the first or second bend or whatever.
Right. Okay.
There should be a fish on there, and you might have to slow down, do something a little different. I would throw a Cinco when he was flipping, and then I'd catch fish doing that. But he was just he'd always talk out loud, and he never really. He was always, the wheels were always turning. He never was fixed on one thing. When the conditions were changing, he was adjusting.
Right.
He kind of you can't get stuck on one thing, which is why I think he's so good at tidal water, because things are always changing. So
yeah, I think that's really important to note, because I always look at those people and think to myself, like, man, like those guys, they must just be able to like look at the water and see what's going on underneath the water and understand how the bass are going to lay to certain things and how they're going to feed on certain things in certain conditions and stuff like that. Because like, especially the flats related, I think a lot of guys get stuck on got to be on the flats, got to be throwing a chatterbait, got to be in the grass, and which works a lot of the time.
it does.
But like you said, it's tidal water and it changes constantly, and you have to be willing to adjust with those fish when it's time.
Definitely, yeah. I totally agree with that.
You said something in there that I want to hit on. Early on, you saw how efficient Mike was. And like, we talked about this a little bit last show, and like how it becomes harder to find, like, it's weird because the more skilled you become as an angler, it's harder to find ways to become more efficient the further that you go, right? And
sure.
like, because once you can make all the casts, once you can do all those things, it comes down to like that process of, okay, well, what needs to be done, but how quick can you get from A to B?
Yeah.
And you got to see Mike do that early on. Did you pick up on anything in particular to like exactly how he handled changing situations to, how did he handle making those adjustments quicker, and how did that affect you?
That's a great question. That is a tough one. So, I guess the best thing I could say is South Jersey is such a diverse fishery. We have deep, clear sand quarries. We got shallow mud puddles. We have rivers, everything. So he was constantly, I guess, taking things from different lakes scenarios and applying it to where he was at, currently. So, I think a lot of the South Jersey lakes, while they don't necessarily match up entirely with the bay, you can always find, the back of, Furnace. It's similar to like a Rainbow Lake, or, similar to like a Parvin. It's got Black Death. It's real shallow. So I just think seeing so many different types of bodies of water and everything, he's able to take that information and just apply it to many scenarios wherever you go, really.
And I don't want to make the show all about Mike. We love him. Love Mike, love him, bro. But I don't want to make it all about him.
Sure.
You have a tendency to do really good at places that you've never been to. Have you noticed that about yourself?
I'm starting to put that together. Yes, I am starting to put that together.
You've had some serious high-level finishes at places where you've never seen before.
Right.
Kerr, you won our qualifier at Kerr. Mm-hmm. You came in third place at the regional at the James River. You'd never seen it before.
Right. Second on the James River.
Second on the James River. Sorry.
Yeah, 8-pounder went a long way.
8-pounder went a long way. Didn't you, Hudson River, didn't you win the first time that you were there?
Previous knowledge. No, it was the second time.
Okay, second time, right?
Actually, no. Okay, no, it was.
But you get the point.
Yeah.
You get the point.
Yeah.
How did that process of you, like what part of the process of you starting so young, fishing competitively, like what can you put your finger on that you took away from that part of your fishing life to now in your ability to just show up somewhere and be like, I can figure this out and I'm going to be able to catch them? Because that's a hard thing to do for most people. Like I have a tendency to struggle when I go to a new body of water for the first couple times. Right. You don't have that, and I think that's what separates you. can you put your finger on like how you got to that point?
These are really, really good questions.
I'm gonna make you think, Bubba.
Well, I mean, just for example, in the Hudson, I think over you learn to look for the same things no matter where you're going, right? So if it's like a colder time of year, the cleanest water is usually going to be the best, right? The warmest water is going to be the best, the most stable water. I don't know if it's just kind of like in the back of your mind or if it's like a sixth sense or whatever, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, I think my brain's always just kind of going. I'm kind of always looking for the next best thing, and I'm not afraid to do a 180 and do something completely different. I don't feel like I have like a weak point. I feel like I can do everything decently well. I don't think I'm great at one thing versus another, but I think I'm overall pretty well-rounded, and I guess also home court advantage can definitely burn you, and that happens to me and you out here a lot, which is, so sometimes it's kind of like the night before pattern. You leave them biting and hope they're still there the next day, because it's always changing out there, and every day's different. So
yeah, I mean, I just want to backtrack just a little bit about seeing different types of water all over and how important that is, and that is super important. I think that everybody listening that might want to tournament fish or think they want to try tournament fishing, that is like one of the biggest pieces of advice, is just go fish wherever you can, whether it's a lake, a pond, a river, no matter where it is, like
totally,
even if you hear the fishing's not good, like go try it, and I was never one of those people until I joined a club where we did fish different tidal water, and like the Chop Tank or the
never been there,
Potomac and the Bay, and then going and fishing some small lakes and stuff like that. Like, it's cool to see it all. Whether you grind for 8 hours or you smash them, like you're gonna learn something. And that's just, if you want to go to that next level, that's really important to do.
Yeah. We learned how to grind in South Jersey, that's for sure.
And I just want to take a second because we're getting blown up with comments.
Are we?
Yeah, seriously.
Nice.
So,
Really?
So
Nice.
everybody that's commented, thank you. So Duke said, "Spill the tea, boys."
Duke.
Lenny said, "Taking notes."
Lenny Speed.
Yep. Chris from 3B said, "What's up, dudes?" Austin Horton said, "Checking in." And then Vinny said he's put me on my PB twice now, and they were both in January. Yep. Connor is a very unique fisherman. So.
Yes, he is.
Thanks.
So we appreciate you guys, watching the live stream and throwing a comment out there. So, so let's get back to the tournament side of things. So you join a club, and you're fishing with Mike, and you're learning things. At what point did you start, really thinking to yourself, like, I'm going hard on this tournament style fishing?
I think it's when I got my first boat, my first big boat. I fished trolling motor only lakes for a long time, got really good. I'm big on like not skipping steps, right? Like start at the electric only level. We have a lot of like small trolling motor lakes in New Jersey. Kind of make sure you know how to actually catch fish before you make that next step to big water. Because the hardest part is finding fish, not actually catching fish. But yeah, making that big step to a big boat. That is kind of when I really started to realize that this is what I wanted to do. I fished 5 Alive my first 3 years as a boater. Yeah, and that I highly recommend that club for anybody that's just getting into big water fishing, because a lot of the guys talk. It's a learning club. It's competitive, but
very competitive.
Very competitive.
Very competitive. That needs to be noted. That 5 Alive, I can't say enough good things about that club. They're based out of North Jersey, but I mean, they have, how many members do they carry?
Sometimes it's over 100.
Over 100 members.
It varies.
And like there's way above average for that club of like a membership base that can catch them. Like it's serious. Like you can win a 5 Alive club tournament and clear $1,000 $1,000
Definitely.
for a club tournament.
Definitely.
Like it's Very good club, but
Yeah. So my first year I joined Five Alive, and I made a lot of mistakes, but I made a lot of good decisions. I ended up finishing third overall in points my first year, fishing as a boater, and then the very next.
What year was that?
I'm not sure.
18, 19?
If it's before 2022, it's not on my list.
When did you
It
get
is. Yeah, it's before that.
When did you get the Skeeter? 19?
Man, I have to go back. I think it was 2017 or something.
17, 18.
Maybe
Okay,
18.
Because I remember you had I got a Triton a couple years after you and Rob had glass boats.
I think it was around this. I think we got a boat around the same time. I want to say.
Yeah, I got my first Triton in 18. End of 18. But
I can figure it out.
But anyways, that's irrelevant. But yeah.
So out of the tournament fishing, at what point did you realize how special the bay was?
Ooh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's where all the money was at. Like, I fished a lot of Five Alive, and I was, definitely spending a lot of time traveling with Five Alive. But all like the regarded as the best of the best. The guys were going down to the bay and really putting their money on the line, and there was some huge tournaments going out. There was no secret that was the powerhouse of the area. That had the biggest fish, the most tournaments, the most money to be made.
Yeah.
So after traveling around with Five Alive, I think after 3 years of Five Alive, I had felt like I had put the time in with club fishing and was ready to make that next step. Probably around the same time that you kind of were making the drive from Haddon Heights, I started to kind of shift my focus to the bay and really try to follow the fish from March to July and I mean you definitely don't want to just focus on one on one body of water, but it's hard when you're catching such big fish down here, and the competition's incredible. But
well, yeah, I mean that's why this episode is called the Garden State Takeover. It's just because man, it just seems like more and more you guys from Jersey just keep crossing that. Just keep crossing that bridge.
The Jersey sweep, right? That's what you call it.
Jersey sweep. I claim Maryland now because I got everything. I even got license plates on my truck now. So,
and no shade to anybody for doing it, but if you continuously look at the top of those tournaments every time, it's always Jersey guys, man. And I also and I wonder if that has a lot to do with because that you guys have more lakes and ponds and stuff like that to fish locally, whereas here, we got some ponds and stuff, but and we got the Conowingo and the reservoir but I mean here everybody just goes right to the bay.
Yeah, around here it's your opportunity to fish is either the bay, or around the flats, fishing the northeast, or the Wingo, or Lums Pond, or Octorara. There's not that many little mud holes where, in South Jersey, within a 45-minute drive from kind of everywhere from where we were centrally located, there was 20, 25 different little, they're not very good lakes. Just call it for what it is. But you gotta really work to learn how to get a bite. And a lot of those places are different. Each one has their own kind of, they fish differently. And there's for a little, for a little body of water, there's a lot of tournaments that go on all those little ponds in South Jersey. So you have the opportunity to get exposed to the tournament fishing culture where you may only be fishing against 25 other boats, but you're fishing against 25 other boats on a 30-acre lake, or 30-acre pond,
right?
So
Duke Nave says PA boys are coming. I don't know if I believe that.
Duke's coming. Duke ain't coming. Duke's already here. He's already here. And I consider Duke Maryland, dude. He lives 20 minutes from the boat, dude. You ain't
Fair. And I also wonder too, if the guys that grow up here that cut their teeth tournament fishing that have only ever fished the bay, I wonder how many people try to tournament fish the bay and fail because it can be really hard to learn sometimes, and that deters them and they don't end up staying with it. You know, like there are a few small clubs locally that are a lot of fun to fish. I fished in one of them, and I know he's fished in some of them, and like if he said 17 minutes to the ramp, but who's counting? But I mean, if you don't get into any of those small clubs and you go right to the Chester counties, you know, like there's guys. I mean, you know how it is. Like if you're not out there as much as you guys are, like you're at the bottom of the list, and that can be defeating. So and I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that.
I mean, I got you. There's definitely, it seems like there's some turnover in the bay over the years, and this didn't happen overnight though. By the way, like
I understand.
It's 2026. When was the first time we fished together on the bay? 2018, probably. End of 2018. I want to say it was like I practiced with you for a 5 Alive tournament, maybe 2018 or 19. The water, everything was blown out. The whole flat was blown out. We started in the Sass. We ended up back here.
I think that was September, wasn't it?
It was like September. September, like, but it was a long time ago. It was either 2018 or 2019. Like, we're talking 5, 6 years ago. It didn't happen overnight. Like the process of learning the bay wasn't just snap, crackle, pop.
Sure,
you know what I mean. It's
right.
A lot of getting our teeth kicked in to get to
definitely
that point. You know,
yeah. So what I want to know is, so you guys, you know, fish together out here all the time, but at what was it driving you to be better here, knowing that he was fishing here all the time? Does that feed into your drive a little bit?
Oh, I definitely think there's some good friendly competition between the two of us, but I think it kind of makes you want to be better. You know, competition's good, and but you know, over the years we definitely have learned to, you know, we share information. You know, we talk a lot, and I think it, you know, helps him and helps me, and you know, that we don't keep the circle.
We don't always agree.
No, we definitely don't always agree, but you know, but that's part of it.
Yeah.
But you guys also have a little different style, though, right? Because well, I know you both scope. Right. But,
I mean,
but outside of that,
I mean, I don't know. I'd say we honestly fish pretty darn similar.
Yeah, I think so.
But like a lot of times, like our ideologies on like the why and the what and the where, that can be very different. I'd say
your shell bed patterns, touching your shell beds with your toes, jumping in.
And, I mean,
no, it makes a lot of sense, man.
First episode, we're still talking about that.
Yeah.
I just always wonder that, because like I know if it was me, you know, like besides like the friendly competition or whatever, if I had a buddy here, and I've fished with a couple of my buddies that, you know, 9 times out of 10 beat me, but it like, I'm like, fuck, man, like he's out there all the time, like I got to get out there. I got to be out there. I got to be out there, you know. Like him being one of them, like he fishes all the time, right? And like I'm at a point now where I can't fish all the time like I used to, but I'm like, God damn it, that motherfucker, he's out there again.
Try to do better.
Yeah. Well, I fished with you one time, I didn't catch anything, so you'll have that.
Curse of the back boat.
The back boat is hard. I feel like we should talk about that, you know, because you were backboated for a while with Mike, like,
and behind Rob.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like I don't think co-anglers realize off the jump like how hard the back of the boat actually is.
Oh yeah.
Like just from, you know, especially if you got a hammer up front that's, you know, putting it on them, like they're not leaving many fish, and then like the position of the boat is not always adequate for the back guy, and just trying to fish certain things, like obviously the flats is, you know, if you're fishing chatterbait, you're just casting out there, you know, and reeling in certain spots and stuff like that. But when you're fishing like technique specific areas, like lay down stuff like that, like it's tough for a backboater.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been a while since I fished as a co in that aspect, you know, fishing the bank, but it definitely makes you think outside the box. But I don't know if we want to get into like the team tournament aspect of it.
We will.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely fishing out of the back of the boat is tough. If you're beating the bank, there's not really much you can do.
Right.
Besides really just think out the side of the box
Tim Terry Kelly said, "You boys can catch them, no doubt."
Thanks, Timmy.
He's talking only about Connor, by the way.
Oh, stop, dude.
I'm glad you guys know who all these guys are.
Yeah.
But so Rich and I were just kind of throwing some ideas off each other prior to this show, and he had mentioned because of your career path that COVID time you were jammed up, right? Whereas most other people were not.
I
And
wish I could have been out there. That was a legendary year, I heard.
yeah,
Missed that one.
So my question is,
Connor's a nurse, by the way.
yeah.
Shout out.
3 days a week, 4 days off, lots of fishing.
Yeah, but during COVID, you were the fucking real MVP. And for a year where a lot of people weren't allowed to work, you had to work. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you missed a good year.
Yeah, I saw.
I appreciated you not being out there. I didn't have to worry about you, but
So where I'm kind of going with this is being almost minimal fishing a full year to almost no fishing at all. How badly does that set you back, or if it even does set you back? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because like I'm thinking of people that tournament fish, or trying to take it to the next level of like deciding, or if some kind of setback happens and you have to take time off, like how bad does that hinder the fishing ability, if at all?
I don't think it really sets you back too much. I think if you've been doing it for long enough, it's your mental strength is that's the part that you can't really take away. The mechanics come back. It might take a day or two to kind of get the rust off. But I think after you've been doing it for a while, I think once you kind of get that mentality of how to approach everything, that doesn't go away. But the COVID times, it wasn't super long. It was probably like 6 months where I wasn't fishing that much. But
okay.
I still got out like once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Every other week. It wasn't terrible.
you weren't able to get out for like the first. Because everybody thought, like, when COVID first happened, the world was crazy, right?
They shut
people were
down
like,
the bridge.
You can't even go over the bridge.
Yeah.
Anchor's closed.
Yeah.
Anchor's all this.
DNR was like telling you couldn't be on the water.
You couldn't be on the water. It'll get you out there. And then one person realized, like, yo, Butch is still going to let you launch. He ain't going to turn down money.
Yeah.
And, like, the word got out, and we started fishing the flats in May after it hadn't been, or it was probably earlier, but it was actually probably March. Late March. It was after the Classic.
I think it was April.
Was it April?
I fished that March there before it closed down.
Yeah.
I got a little wind under my belt.
Old Freddie was stop gathering. Yeah. So it was probably like April or May.
Come on, man. He was the best boat ramp guy.
Nah, wasn't a fan.
It was probably May when like people started coming back down, and the fishery had been left alone for like 5 weeks during the pre-spawn. And I'm sorry you didn't get to experience it, but it sure as hell it lit a fire in you coming back into 2021 and 22 because you started cleaning up house pretty good.
Yeah.
Jerry said Butch will never turn money away.
Yeah. Fast.
True. Yes, I mean, so obviously, a skill wise set, you're not really losing anything in a time period taking off. Just mentally, just understanding like where the fish may be at that time and how things are setting up.
Let's be clear though.
History.
In 2020, we were not dialed.
No, you're not done at all.
Like,
Nope.
very different mindset from 2020 to now.
Definitely.
We might have thought we knew some stuff. We had some success during, the summertime months, but like, we were not dialed yet.
When was your first win on the bay?
What's that?
When was your first win on the bay?
It might have been.
That's a great question.
The COVID year before it shut down.
No, that wasn't.
My first one on the bay?
Nah, come on, you got one.
I don't think I did.
You had a fish jump out of your live well.
Was that it? Oh, that was No, I didn't get. We didn't win that one.
You didn't win when you and Rob had a fish jump out of your live well?
No, we had a good finish. I think we had a third place.
I thought you guys won one.
Rob and Jim won that one together. That was early.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Tell the story though about the fish jumping out of your live well.
That was nuts. So this was in Furnace Bay. This is before COVID, 2019. I was fishing as a cub. I was fishing with my buddy
It was
Rob.
before 19. It had to be 17 or 18.
It was I think ABA, right? It was an ABA team. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But we had a limit. We were fishing Furnace Bay, and we catch a 6 fish. We go to Cole. One of the fish jumps out with the Cole tag on it.
Oh no!
Gone, and it definitely was not our smallest. This was probably our biggest.
no.
Yeah, but what did Rob say when you asked him?
Oh, he lied to me. He's a fucking liar. So Rob always does the culling. That's the one thing I'm not good at culling. It stresses me out. I just let Rob does the culling. So, Rob said, "Oh, he lost one. It was the smallest one." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So we just kept fishing. So I don't know if it was me or him, but one of us saw the cull tag like starting to kind of bob up and down. We're like, what are the chances that the fish is still attached to that cull tag? And we'd motor over, and then the cull tag would go under and move away, and that would come back up. But basically, we started chasing this thing on 100, and it eventually got tired, and we scooped that thing. We threw it in the boat. I look at him, and I'm like, "You motherfucker! That was not the smallest fish at all. That was our lunker." But no harm, no foul. We ended up, putting it back in the live well and made the call, and it was a good finish. We didn't win, but it was definitely a memorable.
Dude, some of that fish got spunk. I've seen them jump out of the live well too, clear the whole boat out the side.
Oh, it's my number one fear. I'm terrified of that, especially at anchor when you're trying to weigh them in.
You're just like,
man,
that walk from wherever you park on that dock till you get on dry land, dude. Like, if my partner's carrying it, dude, I'm ready to rebound.
Totally.
I've seen it happen. I saw a guy's carrying a bag up at Manasquan one time, a long time ago, and the side of the weigh-in bag blew out on the dock.
I've never heard of that.
All their fish right back in the lake. They were so mad, dude.
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you?
You can't do anything. They were mad at the tournament trail for using plastic weigh-in bags. That's
the clear ones.
Super
Clear
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
Like the cheap clear ones. I mean, but like
you gotta get them
you're
reinforced
screwed,
ones, man.
Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was me and my partner's at the front of the boat fishing and I'm the one calling, and then just hear the splash, the guy up front's like, "What was that?" Nothing, man. I don't know. There's fish jumping over there. I don't know. Man, have we always been one fish short in this limit this whole time?
We called. Oh shit, we're back to 4.
Duke said that's the one where Rob helped me because I had battery issues, and the karma propelled him to the win. So.
Wait. Which one was that? Which derby was that?
I don't know, but
Was that
The one where the fish jumped out. Whatever that was.
Oh, the ABA, yeah. I didn't know Duke back then.
Rob needs good karma, regardless. So he's got a newborn baby at home. Our buddy Rob Whitworth.
I feel that.
Shout out to him. Beautiful, beautiful angel.
Okay.
Hey Reggie.
So we'll talk about one more thing, and then I want to get some tips per se on fishing the bay. So coming off of the COVID thing, talking about mentally being prepared, I've been told that I need to ask you about the stay ready strategy.
I like that one. The stay ready strategy. So basically, don't let your boat go to absolute shit before you have to start
Fair.
fixing things. So kind of like maybe not with the boat and stuff, but your tackle, right? So if your rod needs to be, the line's getting old. When you go into the dock at the end of the day, maybe re-spool it real quick, right? Retie everything so you don't have 3 knots that are kind of half-assed. Because if you're constantly fishing, you kind of have to always be prepared, right? Rigging up for 2 hours before a tournament, we don't always have the time to do that. And over the years, honestly, tournament prep is a nightmare. I don't look forward to it when you're saving all this prep for a big tournament, 2 hours rigging everything up. You just want to eat and drink beer and hang out with your buddies. But if you're always kind of staying ready, respooling when you have to, retying, putting new baits on. You're always ready to rock. You got rods that are ready to sling, and it saves you a lot of time, I think, and it kind of keeps you, obviously it keeps you prepared, keeps you sharp, and
Get more specific on that. Like, what are some of the things you do to stay ready?
I mean, I kind of touched on some of it, retying the lines and all that. Having backup rods. I keep, 15 rods.
Talk more about it, like, and I know it, but I don't want to just say it. I want you to say it in your own way. During a practice day.
Yeah.
How do you integrate staying ready into a practice day?
You should take this one because I'm not really following.
No, I want you to take it because I've called you before while we're both on the water practicing for a Toyota series, and you're like, yeah, I'm parked in a bridge just getting my stuff ready for a little while, and then I'm going to go back to practice.
I don't know why the fuck I did that.
Perfect.
I don't know. I mean, I can't.
I know enough times where we've talked, and you've been doing the process of like what most people would do when they get off the water. You're doing that on the water, and then you're continuing your practice essentially.
Yeah, because I hate spending 2 hours off, getting ready the next, when I get off the water. It's not fun to me. I'd rather you can't go on 100 the whole day in practice. Practice is more exhausting than the tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Practice days are sometimes 12 hours long. I'd rather get my stuff ready, get my stuff tight, and that way, when I get off the water, I can just, kind of close everything up and just prepare for the next day.
Yeah, I get that. That's how I would be too.
Yeah.
I don't fish many tournaments, but when I get off the water, the last thing I want to do is just think more about.
Oh, it's the worst, right?
Just want to go home and eat some food and just relax for a little bit, before you get out there tomorrow. But the way I relate that whole steady ready mentality is like, I was a baseball player like my whole life, played college baseball, and there was always like a saying, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And, that correlates because when you're looking at all your shit and it's all a clusterfuck and you know that you haven't retied anything since the last tournament and you're thinking, and you just like the whole day you're like, man, at some point this is going to just fall off the rails, whereas if, you've got fresh spool on, you got fresh tied lures on, stuff like that, you're ready to rock as soon as something small starts to happen in the wrong direction, you're prepared with something else, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it.
So, and I it does take a lot of prep and time to be ready for tournaments, dude. Like, oh yeah. And it is like you said, it is exhausting, and I don't even deserve to be talking on this because I don't fish any big tournaments, but I've fished enough small ones to know that, tournament days are a lot of time looking for fish, finding A, B, C, D, E spots. Yeah. Trying to figure out what they want to bite, where you're going to start. Right, so it's mentally exhausting.
I think for me, like, the stay ready theory, it comes down to like, don't skip anything. Don't skip anything. If you break off your jig, don't reel your stuff up back to your spool and just lay the rod down. Retie it right there in that spot, because like the more you compound those things of like, I should have done this but I didn't, that mountain of compounding things that you should have done, it just starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't overcome that hurdle where, like, when you think about it, like, oh crap, I broke off my leader knot on my spinning rod. You can either lay that rod down and let it be there just dangling with braid all day, or in that moment you can say, okay, this is going to take me 35 seconds to retie a new leader. I'm just going to do it right now. So the more you get to that point of where you're like, okay, something needs to be done, I'm not going to kick the can down the road. I'm going to look at that as an action item. I'm going to take action on it. I'm going to do it right now, here, right now. And 100%. Like the more you train yourself to do that and think that way, that you don't even have the thought anymore of like, okay, I'm going to have, like, it drives me up a wall to see if somebody breaks something off and they just leave their rod dangling there like that. That's just a tool.
You don't want to fish with me, man.
You got a tool laying there with nothing on it.
It works for some people. It really does.
Yeah, it does, but like, you know, that's not staying ready.
No.
Well,
I agree.
and I agree. And I'm one of those people where if I break off, like if I'm flipping a jig and I break off on a bite or, you know, whatever, I'll literally lay that rod down and I'll just pick some totally different lure up and start throwing that. And then I'll be like 3 hours later going, man, why am I not getting any bites? Well, if I had just retied that jig and kept throwing that jig, you know, I probably could have had however many more bites, you know. So it all makes sense.
Feels like it's a lot easier to make an adjustment too. Like if you've already retired that Nico rig and it's sitting on your deck, you pull up to a dock, it's a lot easier to pick that up. And you know, you got a jig in your hand, you're like,
So you fish with 15 rods, right? How many duplicates are tied? Does that, you see what I'm asking?
I think it depends on how heavy I'm approaching something. You know, if I know it's going to be a jig head minnow tournament, which, you know, if I'm upstate New York, I might have 2 on. But around here, I would say, I mean, you like having 2 chatterbaits on.
Yeah.
2 chatterbaits.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I usually just keep it simple with the chatterbait, but I usually have, you know, 2 flipping rods on. I will have backups of things if I need to, but I would say 2, like maybe 2, like 2 of everything, maybe something a little bit different. It really just depends on, you know, if I think I'm going to be really, you know, throwing a chatterbait heavy, if I'm going to be flipping heavy. It just kind of depends on how I think I'm going to approach the day, but.
So now let me steer into this. Let's just say it's a chatterbait, right? And you've got 2 tied on. Are you tying 2 of the same color, 2 of a different color?
I am. I would say for a chatterbait, I think it's more about. I mean, you might think differently. I think it's more about the weight.
Right.
So I'm big on the 3/8 when the tide's a little bit lower, or if it's a little dirtier, I want to slow it down. And I'm big on the half when the tide's a little bit higher, if I want to work a little faster. So I like having a light one and a heavy one.
We're getting to the point of the show where if you're listening, this is where you start taking notes, especially chatterbait related.
Well, I mean, Rich is exclusively half, and he whoops my ass on the chatterbait most of the time. But that's kind of what works for me. I like having a lighter one. But
the only reason I'm asking is because like I specifically find myself like I'll have like let's say I have 2 flipping baits tied on, I'll have 2 different colors because in my head, even though they were biting, I don't know, let's just say they're biting black and blue the day before.
Sure.
In my head, I'm like, man, I better be ready in case they're not biting black and blue tomorrow. Totally. You know, whereas some people might just be like black and blue everything.
Totally.
Like, you know, so
yeah.
I don't know. That's just kind of where I was going with that.
I'm always a jig and a creature or something like that. I like having. I always have a jig on. Just no matter what. I feel like there's a time and place for jig. There's a time and place for a creature bait. I keep it simple. Green pumpkin, black and blue. I don't go.
Give me a percentage on half ounce and against 3/8 on chatterbaits throughout the year.
Me?
Yeah, just speaking to the flats. Yeah.
I would say 50-50. Dead split. Dead split. No.
I mean, yeah, it works. Yeah, I got to wrap my head around it. I'm not there with it. I don't throw a 3/8 ounce. I don't think I made a cast with a 3/8 ounce chatterbait last year,
which is incredible. Sometimes I don't know how you can get away with the half, but
I don't get bit.
Well, the chatterbait bite's been kind of iffy the past couple years. Would you agree?
No.
It's been a little off. It's been a little off. You don't think it's gotten a little tougher? Maybe I don't throw it as much.
Maybe it doesn't go as late into the year.
Maybe that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Yeah, early season, that vibration's hard to beat, though.
Yeah.
I just want to say, it's incredible that they even still bite that thing, considering how many they must see in a year.
How can you not bite it?
I mean, I know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I mean, how many bass sit down there and look at hundreds of those things in a day?
All right, Connor, give it up. Give up one thing you do with a chatterbait, because somehow we got into a chatterbait show. One thing you do with a chatterbait that you think makes them bite it that most people don't do with it.
I don't I don't know.
Come on.
What do you?
I don't know anything.
Spill the beans,
I'm just
man.
saying, you're
Come
the guy.
on. You're on a national
you're the
platform
guest.
here.
You're the guest. Yeah.
I don't really have something.
Come on, give
that,
something up.
Nah, I really. I mean, I keep it pretty simple with the chatterbaits, dude.
Well, all right. Well, let's come back to this.
Okay.
But there's a comment and that has to deal exactly with this.
Yeah, let's get
and
the
it's from
comment.
Lenny, and it says,
Lenny.
"What about jigs? I've heard of half ounce being thrown a lot for jigs for the bay." I'll start off by saying, jigs and creatures, bay, I'm throwing half ounce. Rivers, like the Northeast specifically, or the Sass, I'm throwing 3/8
I second that for sure.
I like 3/8.
all the time. Yeah, you're a jig guy.
Yeah.
Even if you're out on the flats. Not that you're throwing jig much out there, but
No, but throwing like a worm out there or something.
okay. Rich, thoughts?
Half ounce.
Yeah, half ounce. You're more effective.
Half ounce
Yeah.
on a jig. I'll make the adjustments in other places to adjust the fall rate. The most important thing for me that I think about is I want it to feel the same on my thumb coming off the spool, so I can put it where I want it to be. Because if I manipulate the trailer and I manipulate the skirt and the line, I can make it fall differently.
Right.
But I want the weight to feel the same. But
And he just
I'm not the
followed.
jig guy. You're the jig guy, Connor.
No, I think I like the 3/8 in the Northeast because you're not fishing grass. You're just the bait's falling, right? It's a little dirtier. You don't want it to just fall like a rock and just it doesn't look natural. But
Right.
when you're fishing in grass, it's a reaction strike, right? So it lands, it gets caught in grass, you snap it, and that snap I think is what triggers them. Versus like a drag, I think it's more of like like a chatterbait. It buzzes by them and they have to eat it or let it go. They have to make a decision whether or not to open their mouth or not. So.
Right. So when you're flipping grass, you think on the pop. So you let it hit, and then on the pop, they're biting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I this is definitely early season. I mean, I think once it gets later in the season, I think we can all agree it's hard to. It's harder to do that when it's July.
Yeah, you put that little jig thing together in the last couple of years.
I've been watching Johnny Venor
Yeah,
for
you
so
put that
long.
you put that deal together.
I had to
I
try.
haven't put that deal together
This
yet.
year I started to really feel confident with it. So.
Yeah, like
Live scope turned off.
Oh no!
Just
live
being
scope.
full
Yeah, I know.
psycho out there.
Nope.
So you want to talk about one of the things where we don't agree?
Scoping in the grass?
We'll talk to each other on the water, and it'll be like, "Oh, I haven't turned my live scope on all day," and I want to throw up when I hear him say that. I'll be honest, dude.
Well, I think it's more waypoints. Just being in the areas you feel confident in.
Yeah,
That's it.
but why wouldn't you want to have a voodoo box on under the water showing you exactly what's going on?
I think they hear that shit. I think they don't.
You're
That's
one of
fair.
them, huh?
I think in July it makes sense when you're getting on the edges. But no, I mean, hey,
Keynote there, July edges. I'm just mental. Sorry, I'm just mentally noting.
yeah,
Good note.
it gives you
No,
more.
it's just a little side.
I think it's too much information at some point.
Like
Yeah.
a distraction, kind of.
Yeah, it's wherever you're panning, there's grass. I know there's grass all around.
Yeah.
We should preface this by saying too, like, if you've never fished the flats, one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given when I first started down here is just go to the flats and set up on one side, troll motor up, and let the wind just blow you across the flats and fish it until you start getting bites. Every time you get a bite, just mark it. And then you can start, once you've come across the flat, then you can take time to look at your graph and see where all your marks are. And then you can start picking that apart.
Where are you at with dropping waypoints on all your bites or not all your bites? I know we talked about this a couple years, it might have been last year, where you were like, I don't want to know where they all are. You were like, I kind of want to just know the area. Where'd you settle in with that?
I kind of stopped doing that because
Marking or not marking?
marking fish. Like maybe if I go out
Okay.
and practice, like maybe I'll drop a waypoint, but I won't mark every fish because I just find myself going in and just clearing it anyway. I don't want to know exactly where my bites were. I kind of want to know the general areas.
Fucking psychopath, dude.
Raw dogging.
But no, you have 600 waypoints out there.
Okay,
It gets
so-
overwhelming. It
So
makes.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I can see how it is overwhelming. But how do you know where to go start?
I have the contours marked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or sections.
And I know what, I know what you do. You're marking areas, and then you're fishing within the areas. It changes every year.
Right.
It absolutely changes, but it's just worth to note that like you're not a mark every fish, every bite.
I might not delete the big fish.
No, I know you're not deleting the big fish, but like, see, I'm on the side of the fence where, I mean, if it's over 3 pounds, I'm marking it every single bite.
I would love to see your mapping.
Oh, it's insane! It's insane. But every year has a different color, and I know. Yeah, you look at that. Look at that big ass calendar in there.
Yeah,
I'm very visual, dog.
I see that.
It's all about the colors, right?
Contour is a great thing.
spectrums.
My buddy Alex is a huge contour guy out there. Like he runs like low grade graphs and like the cheapest version of Garmin you can get, and just runs the contour on it and fishes that.
Yeah.
So that is a good point to make. Especially
that
out
mapping
there.
out on the flats is good now.
Yeah.
Well, not the mapping. Oh, you're saying the Humminbird card or whatever? I'm just saying, take the time.
I'm saying it's really it's kind of just crapshoot.
No. I'm saying your waypoints marking your own contours.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying it about mine. I was just
No, I'm saying like spend the time, mark the ditches. Where it drops, where it comes up, where the sandbars are.
Yeah.
If you hit enough shit out there, you figure out where the sandbars are.
That's fair.
It's just saying.
Oh damn! I can't get on plane again.
Hey, you're not the only one that's run up, beat your boat. I'll say that. We got a couple comments.
Okay. Love the comments.
Yeah.
Look at the people engaging.
I'm assuming this refers to you saying that you think they hear it. Duke said he has 3 running. They don't care.
Oh, I've seen Dukes. Yeah,
Damn, 3 of them.
I think
Dude, Duke's like NASA control up there.
I think
It's sent her to the moon, buddy.
I agree. I don't think they care necessarily that much, but I think it's just sometimes information overload is a thing.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I would be like,
yeah. I don't know. Everyone does it differently, but that works for him clearly. So
yeah. I mean, everybody's different. There's no. I mean, I shouldn't say there's no like magic answer to the flats, but there are some. But I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know if there is like a magic button, like you just figure it out on the flats. Like it changes so much every single year.
Right. That's what I guess I should say is every year the magic button is different, but each year has its own magic button per se.
Right.
But like, and this kind of is leading where I want to go to next is like, I really want you to try to like, obviously don't give away like everything, but like go by spring, summer, fall. How would you break down the Upper Bay specifically?
Okay, you want to start with like March?
Sure.
Well,
and you can just loop it in general as early spring.
Getting in deep here now.
I'm not afraid. I'll
Go, boy, go.
Yeah. So,
and like I said, don't give
it up.
Don't give away all your shit.
I know, but it's no secret. The fish they winter in the Northeast River. Majority of the fish winter in the Northeast River. I'm sure there's some fish that, winter in the Susquehanna and in Swan Creek, but I would say 90% of the fish in the bowl area do winter in the Northeast River. So March, they're just getting out of their winter holes. They're kind of just setting up on docks, rocks, that type of thing. March, Northeast. But as the days get longer, I don't necessarily think it's the temperature. I think they just know. As it gets later in the year, they start to make their way out, and you can kind of get on little zones on the way out, or if you stay on them, sometimes it happens very quick, like overnight. Sometimes it takes a week or two. But they start moving to the flat. That's where the spawning goes down. So I think they slide out of the Northeast. They first stop on the north side of the flat, and then they kind of gradually kind of spread out. Last year it seemed like the spawn happened all at once. I don't know what you thought, but definitely seemed like it happened. The biggest one happened in April, but they fish. They spawn right in that Northeast flat, and then they kind of slowly make their way to, I think, the other ends, like the south part of the flat, the west side, where it gets more current. When it starts getting hotter, they like the current, they like the moving water, and I think that's where the food is. But that's kind of like a general transition. Obviously, there's little ditches and stuff, they're transition zones, but seems like they kind of just gradually slide south to west as it gets hotter.
Yeah, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I think people need to hear, is just like how to, for somebody that's new to it or still trying to figure it out, like just understanding how those fish move.
Yeah.
The point is that they move.
Right.
They freaking roll.
Yeah. So my question, which I've always wondered, because I don't have time to spend a bunch of time out there. How much time do you really have to fish to stay on them? To follow them, I should say.
Ooh, that's a great question. You want to take this one first?
I mean, sure. Ultimately, like the best answer to that would be to be able to be on the water every single day and stay with them. But in a lot of cases, that's not reality for people. Like, you can't just fish every single day. So the most important thing to know is, like, don't put them in a box. Don't assume because they were here yesterday that they're going to be there again tomorrow, because most of the time they aren't. And just the willingness to adapt is much more important than, like, knowing the spots or like where you think they're going to go. And I'm going to let her out because I think.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Well, while he's doing that, I'll just hit on a couple comments. Ron, what's up, buddy? Thank you for tuning in. Stevie said Connor just sits on his butt seat with a Senko.
Oh, I had a small period with the butt seat, but that was more live scope in New York. But I've changed, Stevie. Thank you for.
He just wanted to just dig that in a little bit. Duke said, to your point, this year will be so much different. The past few years, we haven't really had a true winter, so we actually might get some true spring fishing this year. Exciting.
I don't think that grass is going anywhere. I think it's.
You know what I've always
I don't think the winter's going to affect it.
I don't think so either. But I do wonder what snow melt does to them, if anything.
All right, let's go.
What, like runoff? Like getting in the water?
That, and like when we have an excess amount of snow here, like we do now, like a lot of times it gets dumped into the tributaries.
Yeah.
That might not affect them as much as I think, because it's happening now rather than later. But the runoff, as it melts, is definitely going to end up in there with a lot of salt mixed into it. So I just always, and I don't know that there's any effect at all. I've just always wondered that.
The salt makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like every year the grass is popping earlier and earlier. And
It's
earlier.
healthy, man.
It is healthy.
It's healthy. It's the healthiest it's been in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's struggled for a long time, and then when we had that hurricane the year the Elites was supposed to be here, and all that sediment covered that grass, I thought we were doomed for a long time, but it has bounced back.
We had that happen this year.
We did?
Well, I mean, it wasn't to that extent, but in May, remember that? That cold water rushed out and just crushed the whole flat.
Oh, coming from the dam?
I didn't get a bite on the flat for like 3 weeks. You kind of figured it out towards the end, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like it held up. That held up a wave of spawners.
Oh, for sure. I think they just said, screw it, we're gonna do it next year.
Yeah.
They gave up.
All right, sorry about that.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. We're
Okay,
good.
we're back.
We just got muted. Mike's got unplugged for a hot sec, but I think we're good now. While he's doing that, Jerry said, "Great show tonight, fellas. I don't think the grass is going anywhere."
You're right.
Yeah.
Grass is not going anywhere, Jerry.
No.
Keep up that good energy. Keep the grass here. Need the grass.
We're rolling tonight,
Got all
boys.
kinds of stuff written down.
Listen, man, I'm a note taker. All right,
You're on it.
we are. I'm trying to be.
Stay ready.
Where are we gonna head next? What direction we want to go with them?
I mean, we'll talk about the dam a little bit,
Okay.
and then
The dam?
well,
Wingo dam?
Yeah.
we'll just continue the
Yeah,
conversation.
you're going to be a water physicist now.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You gotta be pretty smart, man. You're a nurse.
No, the Conor the dam is I still don't fully understand the dam, how it works. I know there's a schedule and all that, and I have texts sent to my phone, but it's definitely a curveball, and the fish definitely do relate to that. But it's always been difficult for me to stay on that with the dam. I know Rich spends a lot of time looking at that as well, but
I just think I think the most important time to look at it is kind of following any kind of big storm.
For sure.
I mean, and especially like when we're having storms, like it's not so much that affects it. It's you got to watch the PA storms because that's where it's all coming from.
yep.
I mean, the last couple of years, I feel like we've dealt with more debris than anything else.
Yeah.
Like the amount of debris last year or 2 years ago was insane, dude.
Right.
It was like every time you're out there, you're just dodging everything, running into a hole.
Right.
It's crazy. But
Yeah, it's going to be interesting again this year because of the ice effect. Like, the ice effect has a longer term effect on the current that comes out of the dam. I think because like as ice melts north, there's constantly water. There's a constant flow of water that's colder. Continuously colder coming down.
That's a great point. I didn't even
and
think
it
about
keeps
that.
Even if there's not necessarily gates open, that will keep the current going, and that's another part of that whole section from Perryville over to Havre Grace and up that I don't understand. I don't understand what triggers the current up there for nothing.
That's confusing, yeah.
But I know that if the current and the wind are aligned, you can do some special stuff. But yeah, the ice effect and how that creates current coming down the river is it's real. I don't have my finger on it. I don't really know exactly what's going on, but there's something there.
do you think it'll delay the spawn? Cold water.
Nah, I don't think
You think
because
it
where they typically spawn, where they like to spawn first, doesn't really get hit by that cold water. It gets diverted because of the way the flats are shaped. So
Okay.
where you see where you look off our bluff at Red Point every day for the second and third and fourth week of March. Just look out there, you see 40 boats. That's where they spawning. That's where they at.
So it's true.
This is a question in the comments, and I'll let you answer it, Connor. How does the muddy water on the flats affect the flats fishing? Does it really hurt it as bad as people say, or for as long as they say? And I'll say for me, if I'm coming out of the Northeast and I get to the mouth of the flats and it's chocolate milk, I'm going back in the Northeast.
I can second that. The mud is definitely not good, and if it's cold in mud, I won't even make a cast out there. If it's July and it's dirty, it's different. But if it's early season when they're spawning, April, May, I might not go back into the Northeast, but I might start looking, in some of those southern rivers.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, the Sass, the gunpowder down there. It's just hard when you're fishing those 1 day derbies. It's hard to catch that 22, 23 down on those southern rivers. You can definitely do it, but you're going to catch way more fish down there, have a lot more fun. But when the flat's dirty, I'm not about it. Especially if it's cold. If it's cold, I'm not even going to try. If it's muddy and still warm, it didn't change too much temperature wise, I might kind of feel it out. But if it's cold and muddy, I don't know how. I think those fish just sit in the mud. I don't think they leave. I think they just sit in the mud and they don't eat. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but
I would agree. I mean, it's a low percentage success to the cold and the mud combined is that's a hard one to overcome. You know, you can definitely still get bit in certain places, but like it becomes a lot harder and the areas get a lot smaller, and you know the flats have a tendency to fish small as it is, so like, you know, it becomes more difficult. I kind of take the same strategy. I try to just get away from it.
hard cover when it's muddy. Go hard cover.
Good. Yeah, burn fuel.
Lots of fuel.
How often are you running far? Do you find yourself in the gunpowder?
Did you have to make a run at all last year?
Not last year. I think the years before we went to the gunpowder and went to the SAS a couple times.
Yeah, I only made it past the elk once last year. Ran down to the SAS one time for a springtime tournament.
It's a lot of fun. You get a lot of bites. It's just I feel like you're not fishing to win, but you're fishing to be competitive. I know some guys have it unlocked down there, but
that's a Mike Centaur show. We talk SAS.
Hard cover. Yep.
I love the SAS. The SAS sets up perfect for how I like to fish. I'm a flipping guy.
Yeah.
So I especially springtime in the SAS.
Oh yeah.
It can be some really good days down there. But we'll do one last bay thing here, and then we'll kind of wrap up with some final points that I had. But one last question is, how long until a dirty 30 is broken?
Ooh, every year it gets, what, this year there was, you had a 26-pound bag and Victor did too?
that was 2 years ago. Keith weighed in 26 and a half this year.
I know he did, but I thought you had 26 this year too. I mean,
but there was this year there was a lot more, like when Keith had 26, like Stevie and I had like 24-3 and came in like fourth or something, fifth. I feel like it could be this year. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't feel like we'll see 30 this year, but I could see 28. I could see 28 this year.
That's a massive bag of fish.
Barring some, like, you know, as long as nothing crazy happened to the population. I mean, ultimately the facts are is that the fish, they have seemed to just keep getting bigger over the last 3 years. You know, like the price of the price went up to get it done. I mean, you know, 4.5 pounders ain't cutting it anymore, and in the spring you need
so
a bag
wild.
full of flies.
So wild, dude.
I mean, I think if you're talking fishing on a Tuesday, you can go out there and catch 30 pounds.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure a tournament's different.
We're talking tournament. But
I would say 20.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in like March, April. I could see it.
Yeah,
I think you get on that right stretch.
Yeah. The only problem is that we don't get hardly anything to fish in March.
Yeah, there's like one tournament.
Yeah, we get nothing. So
Yeah.
TDs, give us something in mid-March,
There's
so
one
that
thing.
Connor can go fishing. I'll have to be at work at the working at the Classic. every year when I'm working at the Classic, by the way, you are smashing on the bay.
I like March is a fun month.
Yeah, like
March might be my favorite month.
No, in particular, when I'm at the Classic for work, it is guaranteed that you are just caving their heads in.
I won't send you pictures this year. I'm sorry. I know the feeling.
Well, I've got your phone number now, so come March, I'll just be texting you. I'm at the dock, man. Come scoop me.
Anytime. Yeah, let's go.
The bags are getting absolutely ridiculous, dude. It's insane, man. It is insane. Duke said it's coming, and then Lenny said the elites might throw an open now in March. I doubt it.
That'd be
No. Lenny's talking about his club, Elite Force Bassmasters. Let's go, Lenny.
That'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
Lenny, get with me on the scheduling. Make sure I'm not going to be on the road.
You'll see an 8-pounder weighed in that tournament.
Yeah,
Shoot.
probably.
Duke said, Connor is a pro's pro. Never heard anyone say a bad thing about him, and a pleasure to compete against him. Great guest.
Thanks, Duke. Same to you, man.
So, all right, let's wrap it up with a few things. So for 2026, what are your goals specifically bay wise?
Well, obviously, it's to win as many as possible, but I also think it's kind of just have fun with it. I mean, if you've been doing it for so long, you don't really need to. I mean, definitely important to spend the time out there, but I think just kind of go fishing. And in the past, I would try to get out and spend as much time prior to events, and that's definitely important. But I think the better tournaments I've had this year, and also with the Ike tournament, it was like going in, I was not kind of like I didn't have like a lot of time put in. I kind of just let it go and just kind of like fished. Like I kind of like just every day's different. You kind of have to just kind of run by the seam of your pants and just time it perfectly. You're not going to get it right every time, but if you do get it right, you're going to knock it out of the park. And you're not trying to come in third. You're trying to win it.
Right.
So kind of approach it with that mindset. Not swing for the fences, but kind of just go have fun with it. Like if you have a feeling, trust that feeling, because if it starts to happen, you're gonna those next third, fourth, fifth calls. It's gonna start happening. And some of my best finishes were, I just kind of just trusted my gut and just kind of I wasn't catching them that week in a certain area, but I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. And if you're the first guy to an area that it's happening to, where the fish are going, it's game over.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
How are you you think you're gonna fish every tournament out there?
I'm gonna try to. I think the way the season sets up, the BFLs and potentially the Toyotas. I think the BFLs are more obviously. There's two on the bay for the BFLs, but the way that the season always is March to June is there's a lot of tournaments on the bay and there's not as many MLF. Toyotas and stuff like that, and then once March to June are through, then you can start looking to go to New York and kind of expanding and going up north. But yeah, my plan is to fish as many in the spring as possible. Why not? It's the best place around. I mean, without a doubt.
What about that thing you got going on in May?
Oh yeah, that's gonna take me away from.
That's where I was going next.
Yeah, Lake Murray. That's I've been diving in in there a lot.
Yeah. What do you? What? Yeah. You're fishing the fucking All-American.
Yeah.
So like we can't glaze over that. You made the BFL All-American.
Yeah. And
has that sunk in yet?
No.
Do you realize that?
No, it really hasn't.
You're going to the All-American, dude.
It hasn't, and I guess I did.
You're going to the All-American.
I didn't realize.
And you have a tendency to win places where you go for the first time.
Right. And
so
I'm excited. I'm gonna give it my all, and I plan on getting down there before the cutoff, before the pre-practice, and really spend some time down there. And it's it looks like an awesome place.
So how did you qualify for that?
So my goal, I guess last year my ultimate goal was to be AOI in the BFLs. I wasn't able to fish all of them, so I kind of left that open. But so I fished, I think 5 out of the 6 or whatever, and so I think the top 30, top 40 in each division qualify for the regional, and the regional is usually the Potomac or the James River.
Okay.
So the top 40 overall in points. So I think it was the Shenandoah division and then the Northeast division. The regional was on the James River. So I think the field was like 80 boats, something like that. Pretty big field. And the objective is to come in the top 3 to advance to the All-American. So you're fishing against a lot of locals. I had never been there before, so the goal was obviously to make the All-American. I didn't have high expectations going in, but tidal water, it's a little bit similar to the Delaware, similar to the Chesapeake, kind of like a combined thing. There's some grass, but there's a lot of current, high tide swings. So I think I came into it with a good mindset, and I was able to come in second place in that tournament, making a really far run, and was blessed with my personal best, an 8:11. And that kind of made it a little bit easier to stay in contention. So I finished in second and kind of punched my ticket to the All-American in May on Lake Murray. So
hell yeah, dude, that's sick.
That's a very history tournament. The BFL All-American, like, that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Yeah, I'm still kind of realizing the extent of the accomplishment. I mean,
what does it qualify you for?
The All-American?
If you win.
Man, I know you can get into the BPT if you win it. I'm pretty sure. I haven't really dove into what it can get you. I don't want to think that far.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd stress myself out on that.
I kind of just want to worry about
put the cart before the horse.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But
it gets you something.
No, it's in the back of my mind that would be life changing. So
yeah,
I mean, it's
Duke. We wouldn't have to deal with him out on the flats anymore if he wins. So go Conor.
Yeah.
So that leads me into my final question for you. But before that, Keith Cowan said, "Great 856 representative." Adam Setnoff said, "That's my guy. Let's fucking go." And Sean Well said, "Nice job."
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
So my last question for you, and I don't know if I should have asked this earlier on or not, but have you ever had, or do you still have any aspirations to fish professional?
He needs to go damn try it.
I think if I were to make that jump, I think I kind of should have done it sooner. I like.
It's never too late, dog.
It's always in the back of my mind, but I'm not saying I'm comfortable where I'm at right now, but I just, I have a good job. I kind of have, a good setup where I'm at, and not that I want to, step out of my comfort zone, but, I still feel like I can kind of compete and fish at that high level. But I like having, a backup plan, I guess, per se, and it's not getting any easier.
No. But you're the way you're doing it, you truly have done it the not skip steps way.
Yeah. Well, like you've given Mike's book. I can always book.
I know.
It's the only book I've ever read.
You've given me too. You've given yourself the opportunity now multiple times to have that opportunity to present it to you've given yourself the chance to put yourself in a place to have the opportunity presented to you to make it to the highest level.
Right.
But you've done it through the grassroots. You've been to the Nation Championship.
Yeah.
You've been to the Toyota Series Championship. Mm-hmm. You're going to the BFL All-American. One of these times the bell's going to ring.
Yeah, I am hoping for that. It's the Bass Opens is a tough road to go.
It's a tough road to go.
I would say it's probably not the easiest, but it's the way the most people qualify, obviously. But it is cutthroat. It's expensive.
It's the most financially dooming course of action to go.
Right, and if I could fish, be competitive in my backyard, and then also, jump in some MLF Nation tournaments, all that, and have a shot to kind of take that next step, I'm gonna. Obviously, I'm going to try. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be settled.
I'm just going to put this on the record that this guy right here, we talked about this last week of like, did I ever want to be up there? And for anybody that's listening, we have the Elite Series running on the TV. Of course, like you everybody wants to go do that. I wanted to go do that, but I know that's not realistic. You could be there. I'm telling you that as your friend. You could be there.
Is it easier?
I'm dead serious. So,
as a guy that doesn't really know much what it takes to qualify for that, is it easier to qualify for that, or is it easier to qualify for the MLF?
It's the same. No, it's literally exactly the same because it's the cream of the crop on both sides. Sure. But here's what I'll say. What separates you? And this is also a funny story. It took us a long time to win a tournament together, and we would not have won the tournament together last summer if it wasn't for your open-mindedness and your willingness to change quickly during the day. That's what separates you from most people.
Appreciate that.
And which is why I know you could be there if that's the path you chose to take. And that's I'll stand on that business until the end of time.
Noted. Okay.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids.
Not married
Send
either,
it.
so.
What are you doing, man?
And
What are you
Carly's cool
doing?
as hell. She would ride with you for that whole
Yeah,
process.
Carly, my girlfriend, she's like my number one supporter. She's very supportive. So,
I don't understand why you're not trying then.
yeah, I mean,
Listen, man, you can't. I know the job's good and things are comfortable. You don't get greatness by being comfortable, man.
this is true. This is true. Yeah.
So I think you should try it. But that's just-
Yeah.
Well, he
we'll
is.
see.
He's going to go fish the All-American.
Yeah.
So he
might be
is
it.
trying it.
all right. Well, okay. I gotta ask just one more thing.
Yeah.
With the All American, how do you think it's going to set up?
I mean, so I'm no expert in these herring lakes. I don't think I've ever even fished a herring lake, but I never fished a James, and I did okay there. So I think with the herring I think we're going to be at the tail end of the herring spawn. Like, I think it's going to be finishing up. The spawn's going to be pretty much done. It's the end of May. It's May 28th, May 30th. So what it is you fish these main lake long tapering points, usually mid lake, and these fish are feeding on herring that go anywhere from 4 inches of water out to 10 feet of water. So there's these long tapering points. These fish set up on there. They bite great first thing in the morning, but when that sun gets up, it gets tough. I think the herring spawn's going to be finishing, and the herring are still going to be there. So I don't know if they're going to be as shallow. I don't know if it's going to be, more of a, deeper, kind of event. But the last time the elites were there in May, it was all the damage was done in 2 feet of water, 2 to 5 feet of water. I mean, those fish were schooling, they were eating bait,
Right.
Capitalized early, and then kind of like slowly throughout the day. Upgraded, but I mean, it looks like an awesome place. Keep it simple: a Zara spook, top water, and a weightless super fluke.
All right.
It sounds like awesome fishing. So
There you go.
I can't wait. But
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we'll end it. Your boy Mike says Connor's got the mechanics to make it to the top. So
appreciate that. Thanks, Mike.
all right. Well, let's wrap it up. Unless anybody else got anything to add. Nothing.
Not really. No, this is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks
Had
for
fun, yeah. I feel
thanks for coming over.
I
From
feel like I got something to add.
Let's
All
go.
right. Oh
I like
yeah.
it.
Let's go.
When was the last time you walked your cats?
Man.
Did you?
It was unsuccessful, but I tried. I think it
Do
was.
they hang out on the porch with you at the new house in Audubon?
No.
No?
They
Okay.
run.
Okay.
They're not.
right.
I don't
They're
really
wild
take that
beings.
anymore. Yeah, it sounded like a good idea at the time, but it doesn't work. So don't try.
Walking cats.
Walking the cats. Maybe that's what I should title this. The Cat Walker. Conor Cahill. But all right, cool. Well, this was a great episode. Thank you, dude, for making the
appreciate
drive
it.
and
Yeah,
to
thank
join
you
us in
guys.
person. And
Yeah.
I hope you do try, man. And hopefully we are watching you up there one
Yeah.
day while we're filming an episode.
Yeah, I'd
So,
love to be back on.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up next?
So we're recording on the 20th. We got 2 guests on the 20th. So that episode will air on like the 23rd. And then after that, we are pretty much recording once a week from now till April.
Yeah, we got a lot of guests.
we've
lined
got a
up.
lot of guests.
We're gonna have Lee Livesey on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Jake Latondras.
Can I barbecue for you guys that
Yeah,
night?
you can.
Raw sausage.
Yeah, for raw sausage. And
When's he gonna be on?
He's
I think late March.
March like 27th.
Sometime after the classic.
Oh, he's gonna
but-
call in.
Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah, he's
call,
gonna call in,
in.
yep.
and so yeah, man,
That'll be a good one.
It'll be good. Seth Fighter's coming
Yeah,
on.
we got stuff coming.
No way.
Yeah.
Gotta tune in for that one.
Yeah. So, be on the lookout. Well, we appreciate you guys joining in. Anybody that stuck through the entire live, thank you so much. And thanks to all the guys that threw in
What about
some,
Mason? You got
some
anything to
awesome
say over there?
questions.
Learn a lot of stuff.
He's
Hopefully-
always quiet, man. This is how he rolls.
Just got
dude.
implied, I guess.
Shed man.
The shed
Yeah.
man.
I don't know nothing about fish.
Don't let him lie to you. All right, let's end it, boys. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.